Hello everyone, today's topic is authentication in Postman. So we are going to do a post request in Postman and we are going to understand how authentication works. Why is authentication required? So in real life, if a API is open and you're using a post request, you are sending some data to the server. So if we will keep our API open without any security in place, then there could be a lot of requests, security vulnerabilities come into picture, which might break down the API. So that's why authentication comes into picture. So we'll take a fake API only for this particular tutorial. This is a good API resource, gorest.co.in. So here if you'll see this particular resource, this is the link and this is for creating a new user. So first of all, take a look at the documentation, how it is mentioned, what details they are mentioning. So here if you'll take a look at this, request methods put, post, patch, delete needs access token, which needs to be passed with authorization header as a bearer token. So that means if we are going to send these type of request with this particular API without authorization header, that is not going to work. So let's take a closer look at the details here. If I'll scroll down below, you'll be able to see that all the details regarding what type of header is required, what type of authorization it is mentioning, what is the endpoint, and what is the format of the data which needs to be sent. So I have copy pasted this thing in a notepad here. We'll copy the endpoint here and we will send the request without doing anything else. So we'll understand everything step by step. Now I just need to change this to post and let me write this as authentication. Okay, since we are understanding authentication, I'll put the URL here and I'm not going to put anything else. I'm just going to click on send. So what is the response we are getting? We are getting 401 unauthorized, and in the message we are getting authentication failed. So as this particular API was mentioning that if you are not going to pass the token, it is not going to work. Okay, so we discussed about query parameters, path variables in previous videos. Now authorization will come into picture. Okay, so if you'll go to this particular tab, let me make it bigger. And here if you click on this particular type, you'll see different type of authentication methods available. Inherit authentication from parent, no auth, API key, bearer token. So these are the different authentication methods which can be used. Now in our case it is saying bearer token, so we are going to click on bearer token. Okay, now there's a way to generate bearer tokens and it will depend on different requests, how do they do it. So in this particular case, we'll take a look at how exactly it is mentioning to create the bearer token. If you take a look at this documentation on the top, here it is written get your access token. So if you will click on this particular link, you will have different methods to validate your account. Google and some other methods are also there. Once you input your credentials, you can generate your tokens. So I have already generated the token. This is a particular token which I have generated, and you just need to copy paste this particular token and paste it there. Okay, now when you're working with different APIs, there could be different ways of generating the token that we need to understand with whichever API we are working, and we need to understand what type of token that is. Select that appropriate type here and put in the token here. Okay, now this is one particular section of authorization. Okay, now if I'll show you here in the header section, it was mentioning few points as well here. Let's take a look at this. It is saying the accept form, let me move this down. The accept form is application slash JSON and contents hyphen type is application slash JSON. So in most of the request, if you are mentioning the particular URL and set the request, it is going to auto create these headers. So I'll show you. Let me scroll this. So if we will take a look at this, it has not created it yet, so we need to select that thing here. So we can just type here content hyphen type, and that what it is mentioning is it is application slash JSON. So this is the format which it is going to support. So it is the same in this, so I'm copying it from here. I'm just going to paste it here. Now in case of content, in case of accept, so let's see, we already have a accept section here which says asterisk slash asterisk. So it is going to accept anything with a forward slash, so we are going to leave as it is, but in case you want, you can mention application slash JSON, because that is what is this particular request is accepting. Okay, now you'll see one particular header here called authorization which says bearer and this. So this is actually created the moment we have put the details here. If I'll remove this, then this particular header will be removed. Okay, now comes the next part, body. Okay, we need to understand what format the body is supporting. So here if you'll take a look at this, let me scroll this below. So it is a JSON body that we understood from this only, the headers, what it is saying, this application is of JSON format. So I am going to copy this format and I'm going to put it in the body. Now in case of body, we are going to select raw, because the moment we select raw, we'll be getting option here and we can select accordingly. Since it is JSON, we are going to select JSON and we are going to put the details here. Now since this is like not that much formatted, you can just click on beautify and it will format it accordingly. Okay, now we are trying to create a user, so let's use some new credentials. So I'll just write my name here and let me write my email ID here. Okay, now if you take a look at this, we have done this part, the header section setup part, we have done the authorization part, and we have done the body part as well. Now it will differ in case of different APIs and we'll work with that accordingly. Now if I send a request, a particular record should be created. So if I click on send, I should be able to see a response here, 201 created, and this is the time it took and this is the size. Now here if you see, a certain ID is generated, 4732, and my name is there, my email, gender, status, whatever we have passed here. So what happened in this case is, it went to the server, but it needed the authorization. So since we have supplied the token here, it used that as an authentication method. First it verified that and then it sent our request to the server, and the server realized, okay, this is a valid request, and then using the content of the body, it has created a particular record. Okay, so let me save this request and we'll take a look at this, that whatever record we have created, has it been actually created in the server or not. So there could be some APIs which gives that information, like in case of fake APIs, but in case of real APIs, obviously those records are going to get created. So we are just going to quickly check if this is created or not. In this particular API, this particular section works. So let me go to the home page and see how we can get the users. So this is same, this is the same location where we can get the users, and let me scroll down and see how do we send the details here. So yeah, in this case, if I go here, I'll use this particular request and I'll create a new request here, add request, and we'll take get request. What we are trying to do here is we are trying to validate if this particular user got created or not. Okay, so in our case the number is 4732, so that's what we are going to use with a forward slash 4732. Now even create user, uh, even viewing user requires a authentication. So if I send this, I'm probably going to get an error, resource not found. Now if I add the authorization token here, let me click on bearer token and let me copy the token from here. I'll go to authorization, I'll copy this and I'll paste it here, and I'll save this. And now if I try to retrieve this record, it should be giving me the, so see, here we have created the record, and here we have verified that okay, the record actually exists in the server or not. Okay, now coming to the second part of authentication is, usually this token is always a sensitive information. So here you see I have generated my token using this. So if I go on this, I'm able to see this particular token. This is only for me, and here if you see it says expires never, limit and remaining. Now in case of real APIs, you have a certain time limit like 30 days, 60 days, it depends on whichever API it is. And if you feel like it has been compromised, you can always create a new access token and delete the previous one. Now here you should not expose the token in in Postman like this. So what we do is, instead of putting the token here, you can copy this, or since I copied this, I got an option set as variable. If I click on this, and let's say I create a new variable, and I'll write this as token, and let me select the scope as collection as of now, and I'll set as variable. Okay, now it is using this particular variable. Now if I go to my collection and I go to variables, here you are able to see that it is getting populated in both initial value and current value. If I share my collection with someone else, if I'm putting the token initial value, they'll be able to see that. But let's say you don't want them to see, so you can remove the initial value, and you can write like encrypted token. So if you share your collection, they are only able to see this particular thing and not this the actual token value. Okay, now if we go here, it is referencing to this particular variable, and if we are going to send the request, it is going to give us a error because this particular email has already been registered. So if I update this particular body with something else, so let me write uh, test@test.com. I hope that is not taken. So if I click on send, I'm able to create a record. So now this is how this particular token is encrypted. It is in the variable. Okay, now if you want, you can create the variable at a collection level. You can create it at a folder level also, if you want to create a folder inside this and create at that particular level. If you want, you can create it at a global level as well, which we had taken a look in the previous videos. You can click on edit and you can create a variable here, and you can use it accordingly. If you want, you can create it at an environment level as well. So whatever works in your case, you can create the variable and you can reference the variable there. So this is how we do authentication, and we get the results and we perform our operations. That pretty much sums up the authentication methods. We can discuss more authentication methods in future. Let me know how you found this video, and if you have any feedback about this video, please feel free to share. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye bye.